Hello, Quakers. Welcome back to the broadcast here on the Quake Pro League, where we're going to be moving into another banger of a game. This time with, as we said before, two prodigies, but from different time periods. Raisy, number 2 from Poland, facing off versus Cypher.
Yeah, Raisy's one of those people who can just demolish you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's very few people that know how to counter him. He plays in such a weird way. But he did get demolished in Poland, and so he is human. And did Cypher take any learnings from that? Can he replicate what Rafa showed us?
I mean, it's hard, right? Because obviously, for Raisy, the only player he really did seem to struggle against was Rafa. And that was when Rafa went throughout the entire tournament undefeated, didn't drop a single map, just smashed his way through absolutely everyone he came up against. And he had to face off versus Raisy twice and was able to dismantle him twice in a row. For Raisy, however, the rest of the tournament, he seemed like he was on another level above everyone else. He had some of the highest fragging games of the entire event.
What makes Raisy so crazy is that his aim is just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so consistent. It's not like Tox where he has these super high highs and then it's just he'll always hit most things.
He's just Raisy.
And he's worked on his rail. I think his rail is the most impressive thing of his game now. The way he uses that to create opportunities and then he'll just rush. And the way in which he rushes, that he definitely has a particular thought pattern in that he will analyze each individual movement. So he takes a very different route into an engagement, and that's why he's so difficult to pin down, because he takes these weird, in a Dewey-esque way. He thinks about what you're going to do and where you're going to go, and just plays around that a bit more. So it's another level of thought.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild. And of course, his opponent in Cypher. Cypher, obviously, coming back out swinging, returning to the Quake Pro League into Stage 2, being able to maintain his position. He's had his ups and downs. He's been all over the shop. Obviously,
that's just Cypher. Cypher online has always, even at his prime, has always been up and down. And then he would turn up to LAN, and then he shows everyone who's boss. But the great thing about Cypher is that he's just such a flashy, stylish player.
Oh,
and
he's
I think
incredible to watch.
I think his biggest strength is his capability to take these unusual positions and always be able to deal damage, no matter if he's in or out of control to you. And that's why he's always in with a chance, because he keeps willing you down and he never fills out of the game.
I think it's also the fact Cypher has been on the grind recently, so I'm excited to see how he plays.
Sure.
Let's have a look at the picks and bans, though, and see if there's potential for that to swing anything. As actually, it seems pretty standardized. Of course, a classic ban there, as Raisy is never allowed to play clutch from anyone that knows who this man is.
No, and as you rightly say, it's very, very standard picks. Cypher enjoying the Strog. I think we saw him pick it on Corrupted before and did it to great effect. We all know Doom is a pretty meta champion for Raisy on that map. Nothing too unusual. Blood Run again. Glaner, meaning Cypher want to play far more positional, where Raisy has the opportunity to capitalise on some really unique opportunities with the Dire Orb, particularly sweeping away that heavy armor in potential. And then lastly, Slash versus Anarchy.
I like that. I like the Slash versus Anarchy.
I do as well.
Molten Falls, with both of them two coming out, really all about the speed. It'll be like the California Games. You know, you got the hoverboard and the rollerblades.
Yeah.
Or the hoverblades.
The hoverblades.
Yeah.
That's the Slanarchy.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Word mash. But yeah, I mean, like you said, nothing too unusual. I'm really excited to see Molten. I think that'll be a great game. Full out aggression from both of them. I think we know what we're going to get from Raisy. I don't know what we're going to get from Cypher.
That's the problem, is he's so hard to predict in the way that he's going to be able to play, because obviously we know like the mass history and skill level, the potential that he can hit, and then it's just like, what Cypher are we going to see today? I still have a lot of stock in him. I have a lot of faith in him. I do genuinely believe there's so much that this man can do inside the server. I feel like there is potential for an upset. I think this could actually go the way of a 2-1 to Cypher. I'm going to do that on a whim, because I feel like he's still a much loved dark horse that could come out as a front runner.
As much as I want to believe it'll be a 2-1 to Cypher, and I think it'll be a 2-1 to Raisy.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 3-0 to Raisy.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it's a 3-0 to Cypher.
Oh yeah, that it would be a feat.
but I think more realistic could be a 2-1 to Raisy.
Yeah, like overall, when you look at it, obviously, Raisy should be the one walking away here. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one player in the world I would say Raisy wouldn't be beating every week, which is Rafa.
Yeah,
I think anyone else, I safely would side with Raisy.
I think at this point, Raisy has really firmly established himself as, really, if not contending for that #1 spot versus Rafa, firmly #2 in the world at the minute. So
yes,
definitely should be taking this series, but let's find out. I've got faith in my man. Let's see what Cypher can get up to here, though, as Maestro take on Navi.
Calculated start here with Raisy just controlling the high ground with the lightning gun. Doesn't have a rocket to play with, so doesn't want to push out to try and spam. Needs to get across to that area, which he does with relative ease. Although Cypher might be able to get into this heavy armor, and he gets pushed away, but does survive. Unlucky not to have the peeker up there, otherwise he might be able to do a bit more damage to finish off Raisy. But they do reset with relatively even stacks. They do jostle it out for this Mega, both very early. And it is Raisy that comes out on top. He's one of the players that uses weaponry to great effect as well.
His arsenal is very diverse.
Yeah.
It's the same with anything. It seems like he must spend so much time outside of scrims just trying things to work out what sticks and what is going to give him a tactical edge. His mind for Quake is ridiculous. Definitely one of the front runners for innovation. And that even comes down to his weapons, as you said as well. He'll try out different things with his weapon prioritization, which is why Raisy has such an edge in a lot of these fights, especially comboed with his magnificent aim.
Yeah, his weapon choice is always spot on. And again, once there was one of those people that used tri-bolt, shotguns, etc., heavy machine gun. He's just quicker to switch to it than other players.
Well, he's willing to adapt.
Yeah.
And he adapts well. I think that's the biggest part. That's what I was saying before. Players like him, where they're still quite young, in the sense of obviously not having much of a mental block of these are the things that I do, so therefore I'm going to stick to them. They're more willing to expand, and he definitely has done so. And I think it's really his time to shine now in the way he's been showing that. Whereas Cypher, definitely a man that...
But Cypher's also well known for his weapon choice and positioning and damage dealing. That's why I find this matchup particularly interesting, because it's the way in which they contrast each other.
It's the intricacies of them both. They're both incredibly skilled players in their own right. So far, here on Raisy's keep, Dubso, because he is normally incredible on this map and has a field day whenever he gets to play it. It is a 1-0 frag lead, and we're about 2 minutes into the game. Cypher hasn't wanted to take too many risks after going down early on. Great use of the tri-bolt there. Unfortunately, the follow-up shots aren't really going to connect, and that allows Cypher to snatch away the Mega. He's doing a fair amount of damage onto Raisy, and he has to fall back down. He can't afford to run the risk here. He needs to play for the heavy.
Oh, but Raisy does use that double jump.
Oh, he's on
really
his head.
Smart until he jumps on his head.
The Goomba Stomp didn't work, but he did get the kill.
He is weak though, and Cypher will recognise that with only 7 seconds to go. Raisy can't do an awful lot to this Mega because he is too weak. Just moving in to see where Cypher's position was and backing out very quickly when he realises he's overstayed his welcome.
Ooh. Nice bits of damage. A couple of bolts hitting him in the rear, tickling him. Leaving Raisy down on a lower stack than he'd really want to be on. The rockets are coming out, but it's all about the LG for Cypher. That's been his tool of destruction of choice to be able to punish Raisy from a distance. Pika coming out to play, went for the suicide, but it's not going to work.
Word.
Damage is incredible though, and Cypher finally gets the opening pick.
But he does get the pick before the major item spawn, meaning he has...
Ooh.
Ouch.
He's been knocked straight towards the heavy. That was kind. Nikolai Tesla on the server. Cypher absolutely ruining him.
Yeah, really smooth. Doesn't pick up the health. Now it does, but an extra second or two means Raisy can get onto that lightning gun and now secure the mega health. So coming out a little bit on top from that exchange rather than just unfortunately dying. See Cypher here just playing those audio cues, making sure his positioning is in points where he has multiple escape options, and if he is going to have an engagement, he should have a favorable position to take the fight. But just wants to get some timing on those items, which he does now. He sees Raisy pick it up, able to block him off, meaning he should be able to do a lot of damage here and get away with this heavy, but doesn't just get away.
5-minute warning.
3-2. Raisy diving in, looking to try and go for another execution here versus Cypher, and this works out fantastically for him. Now doubling his lead with a 4-2 scoreline as we hit the 5-minute mark, as Raisy starting to get amped up.
But Cypher's keeping the score relatively close, even though that Raisy's had a fair amount of control throughout. These peekers not been effective, but they've mainly been scouting peekers. That's a nice rocket through the grates, though, as it does quite a lot of damage for what it was.
We're about to hit the 6-minute mark. Cypher, this could be a fatal error as he's made his move back over in towards the room with the light, looking to scavenge some extra HP to play with. The Mega's going to be taken by Raisy. Both of them somewhat close proximity of Stack, and Raisy losing all of his armor. Luckily enough, there's going to be a lovely little gift for him as he'll pick up the heavy and now dives in for the execution, sending Cypher flying.
Yeah. Great speed by Raisy to get in and out and catch Cypher on the way out there. That's unbearable pressure coming out from Raisy. That was close. A lot of damage from Cypher.
Yeah, Strug writhing in pain there.
But perfect timing from Raisy once again. Double jump just getting him out of bounds there, meaning Cypher can now get onto the heavy. But does Cypher realize the error of Raisy? So far, no, but I think he has heard him.
Spots him out, tries to go for the pre-fire rocket as he'll look to curve that round the corner and hope Cypher dives straight into it, but he's more reserved than that. He's not going to run the risk. Instead, this will be the opening fight that he has to contend with. Pika initiation and the LG to just strip him of every benefit he potentially has. And when he wants to, Raisy will just land himself onto the Mega and completely replenish everything that he's just lost inside of that fight. There's the heavy going his way as well. The rotations are just so easy for him. Cypher can't contest.
No. Raisy's done an amazing job of locking down this map, and as much as Cypher tries, every exchange he's met with equal firepower from Raisy's, if not in excess. And now the map begins to slip away from his grasp.
Cypher.
Oh, he can't even get onto that Mega. He does now. Ooh. And gets a frag.
Okay.
But Raisy will spawn in and around that heavy, meaning, yes, he does sneak it away.
It's an opening though, it's an opportunity, but if he's going to be able to come into the game, it needs to be very, very soon. He doesn't have too much time left to play with here, Dan. So if he's going to start the slaughter, he needs to begin spilling blood ASAP.
He does, and obviously Raisy doesn't need to overextend, so as he works his way around the map to try and pick up the relevant weaponry, he's avoiding all damage, and he gets himself in a good position to get up that Mega. Also wants to try and bully his way onto the heavy, but good rocket from Cypher will force him back. Now Cypher has incentives to try and push out. He needs the rocket launcher, and once he has that, this is his opportunity to try and get one more frag and keep in this game.
It would take it 7-4 and make it a little bit easier for him. Marginally at best, though. This actually could be a mistake from Raisy. Going for the teleport or getting himself stuck behind the statue. It's all on Cypher to try and find a pick for himself.
Just waiting for this Mega, and then I expect him to go aggressive. Doesn't want to commit through the teleporter, so instead using the Pika to bait him out. It's just in a bad position down. That's the problem. Raisy's bought time as well to pick up the armor.
Ooh, pins him against the wall. Lovely transition there to the lightning gun as well to finish him off just in the nick of time. 60 seconds for 3 frags to be able to take this to sudden death. It would be a sheer feat of his skill if he was able to do so. But he's looking to try and make it happen. Once again, back behind the statue, Raisy getting picked to pieces incredibly low, but he won't go down. He'll overthrow Cypher, and that's pretty much the final nail in the coffin.
Look how close that was. Only walking away with a smidgen of health, despite picking up the Mega afterwards. Great rocket from Cypher, but it's not going to be enough if Cypher can't get the frag right now, which he isn't, as Raisy manages to get back to escape and pick up some armor, meaning this map is now in the bag for the Hungarian.
going to be taking this one.
I mean, that was a really, really strong display from Cypher once again. He was on the back foot the entire game, but was able to keep in despite constant pressure from Raisy. But at the same time, I felt that was a bit more of a reserved Raisy. He played calculated, and I think he just showed Cypher the respect he deserved as well.
Yeah, I mean, kept it close, which is the one aspect of the game, obviously, you need to maintain. However, as an asterisk to that, it was corrupted keep. Obviously, Raisy's keep. He's very, very good on that map. He always has been. Again, a lovely display of his true prowess when it comes down to it. Overall, pretty much had control the entire game.
It was methodical from Raisy. Yeah, he kept a good split on the items. He made sure Cypher never really got a footprint or was able to pressure him when he was picking up the items, and it was relatively clean. So, impressive.
Yeah, it was lovely to witness. We do have the highlights as well from that matchup, as there were many sprinkled in. Some great display of skill from Raisy. Also the fact that he just had such control for both of the major items, pretty much uncontested for a large majority of the game. It was so hard for Cypher to be able to actually stop him from taking exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. And it's unusual that Cypher wasn't able to get onto the map for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. He's normally somebody who can do enough damage to sneak away items and regain control, but Raisy didn't give him those opportunities.
No, he wasn't given any kind of leeway into the game. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out well for him, but it is the opener. Obviously, Corrupted keep going the way of Raisy. 2 more maps to go inside of this series. So obviously, curious to see how things develop from this point forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think once we get onto the maps with Rail, I think Cypher will actually be able to get a bit more of a footprint on, since that's one of his main features on the defensive. He wasn't able to outgun Raisy anyway, do enough damage on the mid-range, so I think he can fall back on his rail game a bit more.
Yeah, potentially, obviously, just playing from the distance, be able to whittle him down. Towards the end of this series, that's going to be the big question mark for me. I want to see the Slash versus Anarchy.
Yes.
But for now, let's step back in and see where it's going to go with Ranger taking on.
This is what we were talking about off the bat, the use of that Direwolf to pick up both major items off the bat.
That's crazy.
Yep, that's the strength of Ranger. Obviously, it's quite a niche use on this map, but obviously the distancing of those major items make it a very powerful tool if you get that spawn.
Yeah, well, it's a nice way to kick things off. Obviously, Galena falling in a matter of seconds as Cypher goes down just as soon as the game kicks off.
Yeah, and it's never nice to start the map with a 1-0 deficit.
No, definitely a bit of a weight looming over your head instantaneously.
Slowing it down now. Cypher's managed to get himself onto the map and to get full control. So Raisy still hasn't got a rocket launcher, which is why he's had to forfeit the map. And Cypher, recognizing that, does jump up. Great situational awareness from Cypher.
Oh, if Cypher goes for the push towards Heavy, he could be sent flying. It could be the Raisy space program here. Gets a fair few tags off with the LG, but not as much as I expected, actually.
Raisy still very early for the Mega, doesn't have the rocket launcher, and can't defend himself. If he picked up that Mega, different story. 1 second too early.
It's a good start for Cypher, bringing it back into a 1-1 scoreline. Nailgun's going to be picked up from Raisy.
Gets a rocket 2 minutes in. Cypher full control. Raisy playing ultra slow. Needs to get himself a rail. Needs to get himself a lightning gun. Rail's the priority.
That's going to be the railgun picked up and the extra ammunition as he will find himself the HMG. Doesn't want to overextend though. Keeping it smart as the corner is turned. Cypher firing out with a tri-bolt. That's a nice bit of damage. He's going to have to entry in. He orbs in towards the totem, takes so much damage, and the rocket finishes him.
Interesting to go into a totem, into a choke point, and Cypher picks up a 2-frag lead. Also has the time to go pick up health before he collects that mega health, getting maximum value. Raisy does have the rocket, so this is a dangerous fight to take to go through the choke point, and Cypher's happy with the rail exchange. Doesn't have a rocket for himself, so needs to pick up some. But he does get away just in time with that pickup. And Cypher is building a commanding lead already.
I'm so surprised that he dire-orbed directly into the totem for the fight.
Yeah, it almost felt like it was one of those situations where he kind of reacted fast and his brain was realizing what was going on. Because, yeah, to go into a totem, into a choke point, is suicide.
Yeah. Just to take the willing damage from it. I don't know, crazy stuff. Wow, that rocket actually getting more than Cypher bargained for, as he gets a bit of a tag off back towards Raisy, so he's got an inkling of where exactly he's playing now as well. His totem's about to come back up just as the heavy spawns in, so that'll be another heavy taken. 4 seconds until Mega. It could actually be a fight over it. As Raisy, he's looking to set up a trap here, but will he be able to spring it?
Cypher's map awareness so far has been amazing. He's caught Raisy at every turn, some unusual positions.
Oh, that rocket as well. The direct nearly blowing Raisy into 4 different pieces.
Nice. This is obviously Cypher's home ground in Blood Run.
Oh, come on.
He's not going to do it, but he still decides to push in.
Look at the confidence from Cypher, though.
I mean, Raisy's only got a rail, and he's missing the rails, so pretty easy for Cypher.
Be healed in the power of the ancients.
It's a big way to play it.
It's also got 2 totems set up on Blood Run, which is rather unusual. One now.
He's done a good job of getting absolute control of the major items, which is definitely a change from what we saw over on Keep. And could be the start of something new for him if he can maintain this. As the rail with a quick flick up is going to be devastating. Also gets off the follow-up rocket, drops the totem down, so if Raisy does chase, he'll take a ton of damage straight to the face. And this is going well for Cypher now, Dan. 5 minutes in, it's a 6-1 split.
Yeah, it is a really strong lead, and I don't think Raisy's even attempted to get on major items just yet. I don't know if he knows when the Mega is up. Cypher's had complete control. Low on rocket, needs to restack that, which he's just about to do.
Bides his time. It's 5 seconds until heavy spawns. Gets the heavy.
Doesn't have a rocket to get out if he needs to. Instead, just plays the distance game. Lovely.
Oh, you don't need a rocket if you've got a tri-bolt. Expected to push with a dire roll, but he's not going to follow through with it. So much damage done, though, that Raisy can't afford to actually overextend and initiate from this.
No, Cypher did more than enough. Happy with that exchange. Every single exchange like that will set Raisy back a minute. Plus, Cypher still has positioning and timing. Once again, another exchange with unreturned damage from Cypher. He's not afraid. His aim is looking on fire this map.
This is going very well for Cypher so far.
Death is the only release.
3 minutes 30 left to play with, and he still is maintaining this lead. Ammunition could be a bit of a talking point,
Yeah,
though.
no rail either.
Yeah, 2 rockets, no rail.
Raisy is hiding there, though. He's out of rockets as well.
Yeah, he's going to be fighting with scraps.
But once again, Raisy's nowhere to be seen on the major items. He definitely needs to get more of a footprint on this map because Cypher's having a free run at this point in time.
Ooh. A beautiful rail. Nearly knocks Raisy for 6, leaving him with, what, 5 HP there as he backs off?
Cypher knows he's trapped in that room, so he's going to try and just suffocate the rest of the map.
Look at the aim! The tracing there was
Nice.
so smooth! And the rail follow-up from the LG, that is absolutely perfect.
Oh, that was a close rocket as well. Raisy is stuck in that room. Cypher might even push in here.
He can afford to take the risk.
Health totem initiated.
Instead, decides to back off. Cypher's got him at every turn. Raisy needs to definitely change tack. Been far too easy for Cypher throughout this game.
Cypher's just got his number every step of the way, and he's carrying it on as well now, causing absolute chaos as it's now 9-1, and there's still 2 minutes left. For Raisy to get back into this would be an absolute miracle with how much he's being outplayed by Cypher.
Absolutely, on both fronts.
That rocket, it's like the Matrix. His awareness is incredible at the minute. Oh, and he still gets the damage off. Who is this man? Where has Cypher been? This is crazy.
This feels more like watching Cypher of old. Free floating,
yeah.
doing damage at every turn, good control.
Just the aim is impeccable as well. Always on target. I mean, he's been a busy boy. Taking part in a lot of competitions recently, Danny has been leaving no time to dilly-dally, so it's definitely been paying off.
Impressive.
Aim has been so good. Oh, a full rocket as well. And yeah, there's nothing Raisy can do. Every corner he goes around, he's eating a rail or he's eating a rocket, meaning he's going into these fights with significantly lower stack. He's not putting any pressure on the map outside of that. So it's all been very easy for Cypher. You can see Cypher. This is when he plays well. He doesn't try to take these one-on-one fights. He always catches you unawares and gets out before you can even react for half this time.
Stopwatch.
He's still going as well. Somehow finds the follow-up shot as he will tear Raisy to pieces. 11-1.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest loss I've seen for Raisy outside of Rafa.
Yeah. Manhandling Raisy like this is such an uncommon occurrence.
Yeah, it was Raisy didn't even get a chance on this map. He didn't even, but he didn't feel like he made an effort to have much of a say either. It felt a little bit too easy for Cypher, but Cypher then used that momentum and carried it through. I mean, he outdamaged Raisy by like 30%. 30-40%. It was mental.
It's also just the fact it felt like everything stemmed from the one dire orb into the totem. Because that was the one like big fight, and then from that point it just snowballed, and Cypher played so confidently.
Even off the bat, he got a frag, he got both major items, but then he didn't even go out of his way to try and get enough weapons. Yeah. And then after that, Cypher was able to regain control because Raisy couldn't have an imprint on the map. And as you say, made a really questionable play around that dire orb area. Dire orb area with the dire orb, should I say. And ever since then, Cypher just had a full control and strangle on the map. And every time Raisy even popped his head out, he was eating some sort of damage.
Yeah. The aim as well from Cypher, crazy on point here in the second map. Looked just night and day difference from what we saw initially over on Keep. And this gets me excited. Considering everything we've just had, both of them seem to be on point tonight. And we're going into the third and final map after these replays that will be an absolute feud. We have the Slash and the Anarchy. There is going to be chaos caused on a global scale.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see Cypher Slash if he plays as well as he did on this map. At the same time, I think Raisy needs to regroup a little bit. Didn't feel like... I don't think we even got to spec Raisy beyond the first minute or two. Didn't feel like the same Raisy. He normally has much more of a presence on the major items. Didn't try to steal them away. So there was a lot of things he could have done better. At the end of the day, though, it was always just fun to watch Cypher playing in full flow.
Yeah, just vintage Cypher on display. You know, it's never a dull moment, and it's always enjoyable to watch, and that's what was out on parade. But now we move in, of course, to our third and final map. This should be incredibly juicy, and I do really hope it's going to be a slobber knocker.
What is that word?
What, slobber
slobber knocker?
Yeah.
I mean, it will be.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
Well, technically, you know, you hit someone so hard that you knock like the slobber from their mouth.
Is that okay?
Yeah, but if it's like a really arduous, like drawn-out game where it's like, oh, this was crazy. Like this is it. Here.
That's a slobber knocker.
That's a slobber knocker.
All right, okay.
So hopefully it's a slobber knocker.
I agree. I hope it's also a slobber knocker.
Yeah. Well, let's find out. It's squeaky bum time as it's Raisy versus Cypher in the decider to see where this is going to go. It has to be a 2-1 split, but who will be taking it?
Well, we both said 2-1 Raisy, so that's where we have to side.
I went for Cypher, mate.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I said Cypher.
All right.
So
yeah, you did.
There's
You
a
did. You
feud.
did. You
There's
did.
a
You did.
feud between us.
I mean, it's always been the case.
Yeah. No, I mean that's just our romance.
I mean, yes.
Right. Starting off on Raisy's point of view, though, already the speed demons that are both of these champions are absolutely on display. And Raisy, he has been sent to the grave in a matter of seconds. Cypher with the opening pick.
Yep, out of position to pick up that heavy. Not hitting anywhere near as much as Cypher. Oh, they couldn't finish it off. That would have been amazing.
Would have been so naughty.
But this is what we like to see. Cypher in full fire.
He must be feeling fresh. He's woke up on the right side of the bed. Everything is just on point. The aim is impeccable, but can he continue it? Shooting at feet right now. He's not really given much of an opportunity. He does secure the heavy. That's the important aspect.
Ooh, yeah, both pretty much equally as fast, so.
Quick switch to the rocket there. Lots of damage done. Raisy low. Plasma trail comes out. The lightning gun to finish. And that's Raisy. 2-0.
Yeah, really impressive from Cypher. Good decision making all around. The perfect rockets as Raisy comes through that choke point.
Surely the third frag already coming through for Cypher. There it is. Snatched away with the rail. He is popping off.
Yeah, even confident enough to go with the rail. Raisy had like 3 or 4 health. Didn't need to, but Cypher does. He's feeling himself, and that's not a good sign for Raisy.
However, on the flip side, it is an incredible sign for the fans of Cypher out there. Signs of Cypher. Fans of Cypher. Plasma trail.
You
going
said
down.
sign for the fans.
Yeah.
And a slight overcommittal from Cypher. Yes, Raisy was low, but he managed to sneak away the heavy prior to Cypher's engagement, meaning he was always on the back foot. And that is some tracking, as he should be able to clear up Cypher here relatively easy. A rocket does clip him on the way out, meaning Raisy's lower than he wants to be, but not enough to deter him, as he will probably try and protect this railgun area.
Premature shot with a rail there, not going to do much for Raisy. He's being pushed. Aggression is going to be the good counterplay from Cypher as he looks to try and flip things back into his favour. Charges in, gets the kill, and puts it on a 4-2.
Cypher realizing Raisy missed his shot and used the speed of Slash to capitalize on the poor rockets from Raisy, and now he's also just keeping the pressure up, so Raisy hasn't got a look in on anything. At the minute, Cypher's definitely the one getting the upper hand of all these engagements, particularly since he has the major items. You feel confident to push up the jump pad, but because he missed it, decides to back off this time and take a safer route just to get on this Mega. This time, Raisy is trying to make more of a play onto the major items. He's doing a good job, but not good enough.
This is going tremendously well for Cypher now. There was a blip of Raisy's resurgence, but that has been shut down. And he hasn't been able to find that ball just yet. The rail will rip Raisy to pieces. Cypher dealing death as he cuts them down.
Oh, good rocket from Raisy. Does knock Cypher back and steals away the heavy. And that rail was a game separator because Raisy would have got the frag for sure if Cypher missed it. But the competence, once again, to use that weapon and hit with that weapon was the right choice. And look at Cypher's awareness. He's always in position for Raisy's engagements. This is why Raisy on this map so far has looked relatively redundant. Cypher's been prepared for every single maneuver. Raisy is trying to put pressure on, which he didn't do last map, but it's not paying off.
Wild stuff right now.
I mean, it's already 4.5 minutes in and there's a 5 frag lead. And once again, Cypher's just every single turn he's got the better of Raisy.
The unzoomed rail. He'll fire it out, hoping to land the shot. It's not going to connect just yet. Both of them panicking with the rail shots. The rockets are going to come out to play, but it might all be about the rail gun. The switch back. Another devastating blow from Cypher.
Yeah. Once again, high risk. If you missed it, he's dead, but he did miss it. So it looks spectacular.
It's a ton of info there as well, as Raisy went into his plasma trail, so he knows where he is, and he looks like he's going to actually try and go for a very headstrong play.
Yeah. This time Raisy's making the wise decision to not engage Cypher, taking the high ground again. He wants to try and force a fight now, and that's a perfect opening rocket from Raisy. This time Cypher's low, and Raisy can get the kill. He will be able to pick up this heavy as well, meaning for the first time on this map, Raisy has got a clean kill and can put some pressure onto Cypher. So what can Cypher do? He saw the pickup on the tribot, so he knows that Cypher is down in that lower area.
This is where the bigger question that starts to develop down is what can Raisy do, as he's normally someone that doesn't really let things get him down. It's not about the emotions of the game. He'll just try and play until the end. He won't get bogged down in the systematics of what's occurring around him. So being 4 frags down for him at 5 minutes, he'll be content with this. He definitely feels like he could try and slip his way back into the game. Just got to remain calm. 4 minutes left to play with. It's definitely doable. And the Mega's going to come up. Be able to snatch that one away. Does hear the hovering steps of Cypher above him. Makes a mad dash back over towards Rail Room.
Now Cypher's slowed down the pace massively. 4 minutes remaining, so obviously he still wants to have a footprint on this map. He can't let Raisy have free run, otherwise we can see what happens. But Cypher just trying to get some info on timings and position. Sneaks away, but Raisy's going to chase. Plasma Trail pops as Cypher gets away. And Raisy backs off to pick up the Mega cleanly.
Stopwatch.
Do imagine that Cypher wants to put some pressure on this next heavy. Now he knows the timing. What can Raisy do in terms of positioning to make sure that Cypher can't? He scouts out the entire area to make sure Cypher's nowhere to be found.
Cypher.
He heard him. He knows where he is.
Wasting the time. He still
How?
gets the kill though. The back rocket down onto the jump pad hits Raisy right where it hurts.
I don't know how. That must have been 2 directs. Incredible.
That is crazy. Cypher.
He's a little bit early. Raisy knows it. But Raisy also can't get in time. But he might be able to kill him, and he still can't.
How is he doing this? 10-4, survives with barely any stack left to work with, and he is crushing his way through Raisy right now. Raisy needs 6 frags to equalise the scoreline. He doesn't have much time whatsoever, whereas Cypher is only starting to get going here, it seems, utilising that mass speed to bombard his way back over towards the Mega and go on a hunt looking for Raisy, already prepared with a railgun. You could see he had an inkling of what was about to go down.
Yeah, he just seems more prepared in these combat situations. Every time Raisy's chasing, Cypher's coming out on top.
Another fight coming through here. Raisy so low, and the rocket is going to finish him. As again, Cypher destroys him in the one-on-one. 69 health left remaining for Cypher. He barely survives by the skin of his teeth, but he got through it.
Raisy needs to get this frag and get the item if he wants any chance in this map. But that rail, 2 rails, but not 3.
Raisy looking for the follow-up. Will be able to do so. There's still a lot of time left here. For Raisy especially on the Anarchy, he can play with that movement speed. If he was on a heavy champ, maybe it'd be a different story. But the way he's playing and the player that he is, he could still bring this back. He just needs to start closing the gap now, as time is ticking away from him. One of the major items is going to go his way. Cypher heads on back over towards the heavy, and Raisy suspects this and is quick on his tail. It's all just about the movement, Dan.
It is. And he's caught him in the choke point. Instant frag. And
That's
he gets
gnarly.
a super clean item here. He will know roughly where he spawns.
Incredibly crisp stuff. Can he maintain this? I don't
There
even
is,
know at this point.
there is plasma trail up, so if he finds him, Cypher will be able to get away. 40 seconds. It's tight. But they're going to meet here in this corridor.
Fight for the
And
plasma
that's
trail.
good game for Cypher.
Yeah, he's done it. He's closed it out 12-7. There's no way with only 30 seconds left. The likelihood of it would be absolutely astronomical. And that's it. Cypher's going to be able to lock it down. He 2-1s the series and wins it over Raisy. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Cypher is back? Question mark.
Exclamation mark.
Is it? Are you sure?
I mean,
statement.
He looked absolutely fantastic there. I
He
don't
did.
know what we can fault him on.
No, he did look fantastic.
And it's, you know, this isn't against an easy opponent. That's against Raisy, number 2, possibly number 2 in the world. The fact that this man is normally an absolute lunatic and is so hard to take down,
Look at
and
the
Cypher made
damage.
it look trivial.
And this is the power of Cypher. Raisy, who we've credited to having amazing combat skills and aim. Cypher always finds a way to do damage. Once again, 1,000 more damage than Raisy. Previous map, it was like 30%, 40% more damage than Raisy. When he's on form, how do you get a look in?
I physically don't know how you can stop him. Just the absolute tracing as well with the LG. How is he predicting some of these positions?
He destroyed Raisy in an entirely different way to Rafa. When we saw Rafa destroy Raisy in Katowice, it felt like a strategy thing. Yes, his aim was incredible and Raisy didn't get a look in, but here it just felt like pure outskilled in a different way. Both amazing in their own right. And so if Cypher can keep up this level of progression back to his old form, we're going to have another Rafa Cypher big matchup at some point.
Hopefully so. If he can maintain this throughout the course of stage 3 here, obviously it's only the second week in, and that is a fantastic display of the level of lethality that this man has locked inside him.
Yeah, it was just so enjoyable to watch.
No, yeah. Everything aside, obviously just a really enjoyable game of Quake to witness.
And you could see Raisy throwing everything he could at him, and Cypher held his own at every single turn. That was bizarre.
Yeah. The point-blank shotgun kill was absolutely just wild. I'm not even sure how it worked out in that manner. But he punishes him, and he shuts it down. Cypher takes the series 2-1 over Raisy, and that's big. That is a big name to get that many points
It's
off.
a statement, yeah, for sure. I think people are going up against Cypher now where he would have been, oh, maybe I can take a map or two of Cypher. If he plays like that, then a lot of these players have no chance.
Oh, yeah. But that's going to be the key question, right? Is this sustainable now? Is this something that's going to be happening week in, week out? Because, I mean, he's been a busy boy. He's definitely been keeping himself busy. So with that amount of practice come back in, maybe that's all it took is him to just be really back in the mindset and be practice.
I mean, obviously he only came back late in stage 2.
Yeah.
Maybe season 2 finals gave him a new lease of life of putting that extra, as you say, extra bit of effort. And he did pretty well on LAN. And again, maybe just proved to himself, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look and see what is our last game of the night and what is going to be coming up after the break. As you can see, this one is a banger. If you did watch the Stage 2 finals in Poland, you'll know that this is how Kula originally got knocked into the lower bracket. He suffered a loss versus the Polish Punisher in Avok, the hometown hero live in Katowice, who knocked Kula down into the lower bracket. So this is really going to be a bit of a grudge match.
Yeah, and it's one of these, again, classical matchups. Avok Kula was one you would have heard for many a year, so we'll know each other extremely well, both hyper-aggressive in their own ways, and they once again should be in for a real cracker.
Yeah, this one is going to be a treat. Please do join us for it. It'll be the last game of the night here on the Quake Pro League. For now, though, take a short break, and we'll be back after this.